And that might be with your legs long, or perhaps with your knees bent and your feet on the floor. That can be a nice way to soften the hips and ease your lower back. You can have your arms by your side, or even resting on your belly. And just give yourself a moment to arrive in this position, in this body, and in your mind, letting go of anything that you don't need to be fully here. Just notice how you feel, and if you need to adjust any position at any time today, please honor your body, listen to what it's telling you, and trust yourself to give yourself what you need. So just notice how you feel in this position, and allow yourself to breathe naturally, freely, whenever possible, in through the nose. And if it feels good, you can also breathe out through the mouth, making a sigh, or any sounds. The body really likes to make sounds. It's a nice way for it to release tension. Also, sometimes pretty funny sounds, so that can feel good. Give yourself a laugh. And then notice the parts of your body that have contact with the ground, with your mat. And with your next exhale, see if you can release any physical tension or any other kind of tension that you might be holding on to into the ground. Again, noticing all of the parts of your body that have contact with the earth. And with your exhales, allowing your body to drop down a little bit heavier into the ground. If you like, closing your eyes, and then bringing your full attention to your natural breathing. Without any worry, without any judgment, see if you can simply observe all of the parts of your breath. Notice the rise of your inhale, the way the belly expands, the chest starting to open. And notice the fall of your exhale, gentle contraction and release. And simply rest your attention in your natural breathing. And see if you can use your exhales to let go even more. Anything you don't need. On your next exhale, empty the lungs completely, and then begin to breathe a little bit longer, a little bit fuller on your inhale, and also a little longer, a little bit more complete with your next exhale. So we're going to slowly start to deepen the breath here, taking your time. Just let the next breath be a little bit longer, a little bit more. And with every exhale, taking the time to fully release all of the old air out. If you like, you can squeeze your belly in to get that last air out at the end of your exhale. And keep going like this until you feel like you've reached your maximum comfortable breathing. So it should not be difficult. Don't stress. You want to reach a fullness that feels very complete. A gentle pause. And with your exhale, allowing the full breath to release all the way out. Perhaps a gentle pause. When you've reached your maximum comfortable breath, we're going to breathe here for the next minute, a very long and smooth and if possible balanced breath in. And on your exhale, slow, even, and a complete exhale out. If you like, you can count the breath, perhaps about 8 seconds in, or maybe more or less, just so that you're able to find an even, steady, but above all, easy fullness of breath. And with your exhales, letting the length, the smoothness, even the strength of the exhale be just as long as your inhale, maybe a little bit more, getting all of the old air out. And at the end of your next complete exhale, you can release this deepened breath and return to your natural breathing. We'll take a moment again before we begin our movement practice to just notice how you are feeling right now, right here. Especially see if you can notice any changes or any sensations that you didn't notice before. Breath awareness is at the foundation of our practice. It's the simplest, often the fastest way to change our state. And it allows the body and the body-mind to achieve its natural, harmonious, feel good, and be good with yourself. And when you're ready, start to move your physical body again. You can start with small movements in the fingers, hands, moving the feet, and ankles. You can also reach your arms overhead and just stretch a bit. Relaxing wherever you are. When you're ready, bend your knees and bring your legs into your body, into your belly, and maybe the chest. Give yourself a gentle squeeze here, keeping your tailbone, the lower back, reaching long away from the head. And on your exhale, squeezing again a little bit more, and then perhaps massaging the back with a little bit of rolling side to side. Or maybe up and down. Be careful not to roll on your neck. You can also take it into more of a circle movement, if that felt good. Now go ahead and bring your knees over your hips so that the lower legs are parallel with the ground. You keep your arms resting on the ground with your hands facing down for a little bit more support. We're going to just engage and stabilize our core a little bit. So take a deep belly breath in through the nose, and then exhale and fully release. And now on your inhale, squeeze your navel in, and the breath is going to move up into the chest a little bit more. But the breath should still be easy, full. And then on your exhale, soften your heart, and release any holding. Let's try that again. So on your inhale, the navel pulls down into the body and a little bit in the direction of your heart. And then on your exhale, see if you can soften your heart. And go ahead and release your feet and just feel that. We'll do that same thing with the legs on the ground. Breathing naturally, exhaling completely. And now on your inhale, engage your core, the navel pulling into the body and a little bit up to the heart. And on your exhale, soften the heart again and fully release. Let's do that one more time with the feet on the floor. Inhale, engage the navel, breathing deeply in through the nose, opening the chest a bit more, the collarbones lifting. And on your exhale, hold that energy, hold that engagement, and we'll take another breath. So we'll inhale again from the core up into the heart. And then on your next exhale, soften your heart and release any tension anywhere. So we're going to add the legs again, and this time a little bit of movement. So bring your knees over your hips, and your legs are parallel to each other. Lower legs parallel to the ground. And on an inhale, we're going to engage the core again. And this time on the exhale, we're going to keep the core engaged and lower your toes of one leg down to the ground or in the direction. And then inhale back up. Keep going. Exhale the second leg down. But the knee stays very stable, very still. And then inhale back up. So if at any time you feel a cramping or any sharp feeling, any painful sensation, please pause, listen to your body, honor that feeling, maybe need to take a break, and above all, remember your breath. We'll do that one more time each side, holding the core the whole time, and then inhale to come back up, exhale, release. Inhale both legs up, and let's try both legs coming down together, nice and smooth with the breath, holding your center. And then inhale back up, exhale, give yourself a squeeze. Nice. Also, breathing out through the mouth is a great way to release tension and extra heat in the body. Okay, for this one, you can keep your arms on the ground, but go ahead and lift your legs. So we're going to have the legs extending up from the core and spread your toes. But again, for all of this stabilizing work on the ground, try to hold your center, so the belly pulling into the body, and the breath still moving free. For a little bit more, you can bring your arms over your heart, holding a little ball of light above your heart. And then on an exhale, we're going to lower the first leg down any amount. Doesn't matter how far, but you shouldn't be grinding your teeth or squeezing your face muscles too much. Just breathe deep, hold the center, and then on an inhale, we'll come back up. Breathing out through the mouth if you like. Inhale, stretching up through both of your legs. And then exhale, lower the second leg down. Breathe deep here. And spread your toes. And see if we can squeeze the legs in towards each other a little bit more, but still spreading your toes. Inhale, come back up. Exhale. Give yourself a hug. Nice work. Yeah, we're going to roll on the back again a little bit more to come up into a seated position. Again, being careful to never roll onto your neck. And then come up and find a nice seat. Great. So let's find a comfortable seat, any seat where you can sit up tall with your upper body and where you don't feel any strain in your hips or pain in your knees. So if you need to sit up on something like a block or a book or anything solid enough that you feel good in your upper body, please do that. I'm going to just start with a gentle twist for the spine here. And we're going to work a lot on opening the side body to let the fullness of the breath reach up into the whole body. But we'll use a little bit the foundation to support our twist. So that's going to be our feet. So flex your feet here, spreading your toes, and that means the ankle is at about a 90-degree angle here. A little bit of energy in the feet and the legs. Then inhale, reach your arms up. And we're going to interlace the fingers and reach them up. Keep your shoulders down in the body. Inhale, reaching up with your heart. And then on an exhale, gentle twist to the right side here. It should not be your maximum twist yet, and it should definitely not be difficult yet, or at all. Lift your whole upper body as you ground down through your feet. And exhale, soften in your twist. So we use the breath again here. The inhales help the body expand, a little bit more length. And the exhale help you release tension, just giving into the pose. We'll take one more breath here, sitting up tall, and then releasing your hands with the left hand to the left knee and your right hand behind you. Noticing your shoulders here, especially if one shoulder feels higher or harder than the other one. See if you can just use your breath to soften that with your awareness. Both shoulders relaxing in the body. We'll take one more breath here. And then on the exhale, if you like, you can just stay there, or you can also bring the hand to the opposite knee, just for a little bit more resistance, get a little bit more leverage for your twist. So we're not using the arms to force, to pull, but really just for a reference point, a little bit more grounding. Take one more breath here in this first twist. And then on an inhale, coming out, arms up wide, and interlace your fingers again, this time the other way, if you can remember. So the other thumb will be on top. Flipping the hands up, and lifting the first finger up as you pull the little finger, the pinky finger down, and relaxing your shoulders into the body. So your neck is nice and long, the chin parallel with the ground. Inhale, reach up, and then exhale, we're going to twist to the second side. Just starting nice and easy here. And again, reconnecting with your breath. So twists are really great for elimination, for detoxification in the bodies. They really support a healthy digestive system. We'll inhale one more time for length, and then on an exhale, separate the hands and bring the right hand to the right knee. So gentle, easy support here. And again, use your exhales not to force yourself any deeper, but to see if you can just let go, surrender a little bit easier into the pose. Now your inhale here lifts the body, lifting your heart again. And your exhale softens the shoulders. If you like, bring your hand to the opposite knee. Remember your feet here as the foundation. Energy through the legs reaching down will help you lift your upper body up. And then on your exhale, soften just a little bit more. And anytime where you feel very stable in a pose, you feel very balanced and grounded, you can also just close your eyes and see if that helps you develop a better picture inwards of what's going on. Coming out on an inhale, release the body, open the arms up, and exhale back to center. Great work. Okay, come to hands and knees. If you're in that cross-legged seated pose, you can just roll over the ankles and come to hands and knees on the mat. Start with your hands right underneath your shoulders, so the wrist is parallel with the top line of the mat, your knees under your hips. We'll do some gentle cat and cow pose here, arching the back on an inhale. On the exhale, rounding the back, looking back. On an inhale, let your belly hang soft as you reach your sitting bones back and out. Look up. And then as you exhale, bring the chin to the chest as you bring your tailbone down to the ground. Lift that belly up. And this can be done with eyes open, eyes closed, but do it in a way that feels good for you and that connects you with your breath. And then on your next exhale, come to a neutral spine and just feel the length of that center line of you and the natural curves in your back. We'll give a little squeeze on the side now on an exhale, squeezing your shoulder towards your hip. And inhale back up. Exhale, squeeze the other side. And then we're going to walk the knees back a little bit. Or I need to walk up first, and then the knees back. So the knees are no longer underneath your hips. And then we'll start to just move in some easy circles. This may pop or crack, but above all, you want it to feel good. So you may need to adjust your position here, bringing your arms a little closer, or your legs a little bit wider. Trying to move, especially the big joints of the hips here and through our shoulders, that can really move in almost all ranges of motion. You want to feel that motion. It's very circular, very fluid, but it might feel a little bit creaky, a little bit like corners or toughness. If you feel that, again, please notice what you're feeling, and you can adjust by moving a little easier, a little slower, or just spending a little bit more time. And again, the awareness on your breath. Move in the second direction if you haven't already, so making a little circle the other way. And then back into hands and knees. We'll do a little bit more stabilizing for our center, and then getting our twists on in the whole body and moving into our floor. So again, start with a neutral spine, shoulders over the wrist, looking just above the front line of your mat, and then inhale, we'll send the right leg back. And if it's good for your balance today, the left arm up. Pulling the belly in, pull your tailbone back in the direction of your feet. And then exhale, we'll bring the elbow into the knee, or the forehead to the knee, or both. And then inhale, open up. And exhale, bring it in. Inhale, reach out in all directions. Exhale, squeeze into your center. Pull that belly in and up. And then inhale, even it out. And exhale, back to hands and knees. Neutral spine, and a gentle pause here to feel. Maybe you can already feel some differences between one side and the other. Inhale the second leg up, pulling your belly in and your heart forward. Keep those shoulders connected to that back support. Option to bring the opposite arm up. Might be wobbly, that's really good for your balance. But let's spread the toes again as we inhale and get long. And then exhale, get round. Tuck again. Inhale, opening. And exhale, getting real small. Wow. Inhale, open it up again. And exhale, bring it in. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, soften. Set it down. One more time, just pausing to notice, especially noticing your spine and any feelings in your body. We're going to do a twist again towards the right side first. I'll mirror you. So you're going to bring your arm up, looking up if that feels good in the neck, and then exhale, twisting your arm under your standing arm and bringing your shoulder in the direction of the ground. You can rest your head on the ground or keep it up using your arm for support. Now, most of us, our hips will have moved with us in the twist. Go ahead and bring your hips back into center so they're right above your knees. You may need to walk your knees back a little bit if you feel any compression or any difficulty in the back. Now let's focus on the breath. Really trying to lengthen on an inhale and soften on every exhale. If you already feel a lot of sensation here, to stay where you are. Option also to walk the arm, walking your upper arm over your ear, and breathing easy. Good stuff. Wherever you are, bring your arm back by your head for support, and inhale, come on up, opening up, and exhale back to hands and knees. On the second side, inhale. Open the chest. Looking up is a nice feeling to open the neck sometimes, but then exhale as you twist from your center and bring the shoulder toward or to the mat. Now your hips may have slid over to the side, so just gently center them. Hips right above your knees. The side is a little bit more restricted for me. Really important, that's what we're doing here, is just noticing the symmetries and the places that are not yet balanced, or that might need a little bit more attention in the body. Notice your breath and notice the space between the ribs, opening with your inhale. And with your exhale, seeing if there's any tension you can release. Option to bring the hand over your head, over your ear, if you want a little bit more, or just stay where you are. And coming out on an inhale, set the arm up and pull the belly in, pull the core in for support, and opening and settling. Great, now let's take this twist a little bit more with the legs. So we'll lift that first leg up again, and then exhale, step it forward between your hands so that your knee is right above your heel, right in the middle of your foot and following your toes. You come up on your fingertips if you like for a little bit more room in the back. And if your knee is bothering you, you can always fold your mat. We're going to twist in the direction of your knee. Inhale to lengthen, and then exhale, turn your upper body, turn your heart towards your knee. You can bring the arm up if that feels good. You can look up at that thumb, but look in a direction that feels good in your head and neck. And breathe deep. Let's turn on the legs a bit more. So I'm going to squeeze my legs on an inhale more into the center, towards the hips, and using the exhales again to find a little bit more ease in the pose. Inhale, that front leg pulls back, that back leg pulling forward a bit, reaching up, and exhale, soften. And then set the hands down. And one more time, back to hands and knees. Inhale, bringing the leg up, and exhale, stepping it forward, so it's right between your hands. You can help it there. And above all, the knee likes to be in alignment with your foot, so it's right above your heel here and always in the center, following your toes. So first, just find the pose here. You might find one side is more sensitive, or maybe a lot easier. Let your breath here guide you into the pose. So we'll inhale to reach up and exhale to settle in. Sometimes it's nice to bring a little motion through the head and the neck here, especially if we do have a lot of tightness in the neck. And then you can settle your gaze on one point where it feels good to look, where your neck is long on all sides. And then let's turn on the legs a little bit more. So with your inhale, activate your legs. Turning on all of the muscles and squeezing the legs into the body. And then exhale to just settle in and soften. One more breath. Exhale, releasing. And this time we're going to step forward into a forward bend. Start off with nice hip distance between your feet, or even a little bit more. Nice generous forward bend here, where your feet are in alignment with your knees, and you bend your knees enough to get your hands on the ground. Inhale, come up halfway, letting your heart reach forward, and then exhale, fold forward, forward bend. If this feels good, just stay here. If you like, you can bring your arms behind your back, interlace the fingers, and notice which thumb is on top. And again, relax your shoulders into your back. Bending your elbows a bit here, so you don't want to lock the arms, restrict any flow. Nice easy elbows, but powerful shoulders in the body, and strong legs. Deep breath. Exhale, release. And then inhale, we'll come up nice and slow. Inhaling to lift your upper body on the support of the legs. Nice. Inhale. Letting your head be heavy, so that's the last thing to come up. How are we doing on time? Perfect. So I'm just gonna warm up the whole body a little bit with some sun salutations. So come to the front of your mat, standing tall, with your knees again following your toes. About hip distance apart to start might feel good. Noticing your feet. Let's just stretch your toes out as you reach down through the corners of your feet. And then exhale, release those toes. Just setting up and feeling our foundation first. Letting your arms rest by your side. And bringing your attention back to the breath. On an inhale, arms up. Exhale, hands to the center of the heart. Inhale, strong legs for a long back. Reach up. Exhale, fold from your hips. And you can also bend the knees as much as you need. Inhale, come up halfway. And then exhale, step the right leg back. Pausing for a breath here in a lunge. On your next exhale, come back to plank pose or plank on your knees. Now, everyone come down to your knees for the first chaturanga. Inhale, the heart forward, the shoulders back, and then exhale, bend your elbows and lower down, chest, and then the chin. Point your toes, and inhale, cobra pose. Exhale, chin to the chest, and back to downward facing dog. Take a breath here, find yourself in the pose, find some ease, and then inhale the right leg up, and exhale, step it forward. In that same lunge on the other side, you can always come down to your knee if that felt better. Inhale to lengthen the body, and then exhale, step forward, forward bend. Inhale, come up halfway again. Reach your heart forward, your tail back, and then exhale, fold forward, forward bend. Inhale, come on up. Now you can roll the body again, or bend your knees and lift the body. Exhale, standing tall in your mountain, right where we started. Inhale, and exhale to your center. Inhale, reach up, look up. Exhale, fold forward, forward bend. Inhale, halfway up, keep those shoulders back. And then exhale the second leg, left leg back for the lunge. So we're using our legs here to give them more length in the back. And then exhale, step the leg back to plank. Now you can keep the knees up for this chaturanga, but just try to keep your shoulders again in the body as you exhale. Bend the elbows, lower down, and release. Point your toes for cobra, so the elbows right next to your body, right above your wrists. Inhale, bring the heart forward and up. Take a breath. Inhale, and on your exhale, come back to downward facing dog. And we pause for a breath here. Inhale the left leg up, and exhale, step forward. Coming onto the fingertips, always a nice option to get a little more length. Exhale, step forward, forward bend. Inhale, come up with one breath. Exhale, settle down for at least a breath. Nice. Pausing a moment to just feel and connect. So we'll do a little bit more work with the legs now to support the upper body and really get that hopefully nice easy feeling through the shoulders, the upper body, and especially the head and neck. So inhale, reach up, and then exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway up again, and exhale, step back to downward facing dog. In downward facing dog, the head is nice and heavy between your arms. The shoulders resting in your upper back, but there's a little playfulness in your elbows, in your knees, and you can move with that playfulness, bending the elbows and knees a bit more. Just use your arms and your legs, both of them nice and strong here. So your hands are big, your feet are reaching back and down, and the breath is full and deep. And take the right leg up on an inhale, and exhale. Step it all the way forward between your hands, and then we're going to bring that back foot down to the ground for warrior one. So for warrior one, that back foot can be pointing at the front corner of your mat. Set it up where you can get the foot all the way on the ground, and inhale, come on up. Reach up, and then exhale. Settling down. Now that front knee is going to stay right in the middle of your foot, but that back foot may need to be adjusted so you don't feel constricted in your hips. With the back foot, you want the little toe to be reaching down and back, so the heel is fully connected to the earth. The shoulders, again, resting in the back. reaching up and breathing deep. Inhale, lift your heart and open up as we transition to Warrior Two. Now for me, I need to bring that back foot back a bit more to keep that front knee right above the heel, about 90-degree bend. And that back foot is just as active, the back leg just as supportive in this pose as the front leg, so you may need to adjust. Extending your arms here, relaxing your shoulders as you look over your front arm, and remember your breath. Now see if you can feel your back arm just as long, just as extended, and just as balanced as the front without looking at it. And then if you like, for just a little freedom, a little movement in the head, you can turn around and look at that back arm. And then we're gonna bend that over the front leg, bring your forearm to rest above your knee for side angle. The head right in the middle, looking in the middle, and that back arm can rest on the hip, or you can bring it over that upper ear and breathe deep. From here, we're going to look down at that front foot. I see the knee still in the middle of the foot. Then I'll bring the hands to the back hip and start to bring the back leg in and up as we get ready for half moon, Ardha Chandrasana. We come into a standing, balancing pose here. Reach out in all directions as you reach into your center, breathing deep. And then as we exhale, we're going to roll slowly into the airplane version of Warrior Three. Pull the belly in as you open up in all directions. And then we'll just bend the knee a little bit to develop a little bit more confidence, a little bit more stability in that standing leg. Inhale, coming up. One more time, we'll bend the knee for good luck. Whoa, very good. Inhale, reach up. And then exhale, folding over your standing leg, keeping the lifted leg long. You can always bend that knee. And breathe deep. Go ahead and set the leg back down. Hands by your foot and reach back to downward facing dog. Take a moment to arrive again. Allow yourself to settle. Move again, bending the knees. And breathing fully. Notice how you feel. Notice your breath. When you're ready, second side. Inhale, lift the leg. And exhale, step it forward all the way between the hands. Pausing to set up your pose. So traditionally, the feet are in one line in our Warrior 1 and 2. But if it's better for your body, you might want to open the back leg out a little bit. The back foot angled forward to the top corner of your mat. Inhale, Warrior 1. Exhale, settle down. So in this first warrior, the hips are angled forward. They're square to the front line of your mat. Shoulders in the body. Breath is full and deep. On your next inhale, we're going to open up and exhale into Warrior 2. So that front knee stays where it is, right in the middle of the foot. The back foot is now angled more to the side of your mat, maybe 5 degrees in. The arms lifted and long. And your heart strong and soft. So breathe fully here as you look over the front arm. You play with your hands, rotating through the wrist. And see if you can notice that back arm just as long and lifted as the front. And then when you're ready, we're going to bend over the front leg, using the forearm above the knee for side angle. reaching through that back foot back, the little toe also reaching down, option to bring the arm overhead. And you want to look with your gaze in whichever direction feels good in your neck. Sometimes a little movement there is nice. When you're ready, bring the upper arm to that back hip. And we're going to step in a little bit first, and then find the support of that standing front leg as we lift up into half moon. Have your fingertips there for balance, for a little bit of support. But really, it's coming from your center. Pull into your center as you activate that standing leg. Notice, remember your breath. And then on an exhale, we'll roll over that standing leg as well. And reach out into the airplane version of Warrior 3. Wobbling very good here. And then we'll bend the knee for a little bit more work. Inhale, lift up. And exhale, soften and lower. Inhale, pull into your center, reach out in all directions, and then exhale, fold over that standing leg. Bend the knee as much as you need to in either leg. Take a full breath, and then exhale, set it down, hands down, and back into downward facing dog. 3 full breaths here without rush. Shoulders feeling connected to the body, head and neck long and relaxed. At the end of your third breath, we're going to start with our first leg again. Lift it up on an inhale, and exhale, step it forward, and bring that back knee down. We'll take one more twist here. This one's a little deep, so if you need to fold the mat, if your knees are sensitive, please do that. We're going to come to the front or the top side of the knee. So not right in the center on the back leg, but that front leg in the same alignment as we've been. Come onto your fingertips as you lift your upper body, lift your heart. And then bend that back knee. An option to reach and grab the back foot. You don't have to. You can add a little bit of, again, a little bit of leverage. And we'll start to twist in the direction of that front leg. It's the legs here that are the foundation. So we really activate the legs, pulling them into the body, and exhale, softening. One more breath here. Find your maximum comfortable breath. Fill the body. And then exhale. Release, and back to downward facing dog. Pausing for as long as you need to. When you're ready, inhale, lift the leg, second leg, and exhale, step it forward all the way between the hands. Lower the back knee down, and we're coming again more to the quad muscles, so the upper leg side of the knee. Bending the knee, and then twisting in the direction of your front knee with your heart. It's a pretty deep twist. A lot of work for the legs, so breathe deep here. You can also come up onto your fingertips. Support the lengthening, the lifting of the upper body by turning on the legs just a bit more. And then exhale, soften into the pose. Last breath here. On an exhale, release. Hands back by your front foot. We're switching it up here. We're going to step forward bend. Inhale, come up halfway, your heart forward, your tail back. And then we're going to plant the hands and come back. Downward dog. Inhale to plank. Belly in, heart forward. Exhale, chaturanga. Don't be afraid to lower the knees. That brings more stability to your pose. Point your toes, elbows into the body. cobra pose. Exhale, go ahead and stick out the tongue for lion's breath. One more time. Reaching up with your heart and the crown of your head. Exhale, soften. On your exhale, tune to the chest and reach back, downward facing dog. Now look forward at the front of your mat. Bend your knees and you can walk or hop or even float forward. Back to that forward bend. So inhale one more time, halfway up. And exhale, folding the upper body over the legs. Now go ahead and heel and toe walk your feet as wide as your mat. And make sure your knees are following your toes as we lower our seat down towards the floor. It might not come all the way down, but we're going to be in some version of a squat. Now that could be here with your hips at the same height as your knees and your hands on the floor. But your legs are active and your knees are following your toes. We'll use the arms on the inside of the knees for just, again, that little bit of resistance, that support. You can bring your hands into Namaste here, hands at the center of your heart. Now, lift your heart again, pulling the core in, the navel in and up to the heart, and breathing deep. So we're lifting again the whole upper body, even as we get nice and heavy through the hips, through the legs. And again, one more time, see if you can find anything you might be holding on to that you don't need. And see if you can just let it soften and release. And then bring the hands back down to the ground. We're going to come down to the ground, cooling down now. So help yourself down. You can sit up tall with your feet on the ground, and then see if you can roll down nice and slow. You can bring the hands behind your knees for a little extra support, or hooking your thumbs. Really just take your time here and notice what you feel. Nice. Bending your knees and having your feet as wide as the mat again. Just windshield wipe, letting the knees kind of wave side to side. A nice release through the hips and the abdominal muscles. Feel free to bend the legs into the body and give yourself a hug again, if that feels good, or rolling again. Just gonna do two more things before we fully settle down. So we're gonna bring our knees now above the heel. And the legs and the knees nice and parallel. So reach with your middle finger and make sure you can touch the back of your foot, the heel. Now your feet should be parallel and right underneath your knees. And bend your elbows, the robot arms, the palms, the insides of the hands facing each other. And before we go up, we want to make sure we have a nice foundation. So we're going to do this first one without moving very much. We are going to feel a lot of support. So on an inhale, we're going to activate that core just like we did at the beginning. And then activate the upper body support. So the back of the arms, your elbows, your shoulders pushing down. Add the back of your head pushing down, but make sure your neck feels long, feels relaxed. And then exhale and release that. And feel the difference. So especially if you've had neck pain or you have any issues where your neck feels very limited or very stressed, you might just want to do that without moving up into the full bridge pose. But if that felt good and you feel like you'd like a little bit more, we'll do the same thing on an inhale. Activating your center and then pushing the back of your arms into the ground as you lift your hips. Now please do not move your head here. When we have weight bearing on the head, and especially on the shoulders here, we don't want to move the neck and head. So just look in the center. If you like, you can bring your arms by your side, and you could open your mouth. Now make a little circle with your jaw. one direction and the other. And then coming down, we'll bend back to robot arms and see if we can release as slowly and smoothly one vertebra at a time. Lowering through the upper back, mid back, lumbar, and the sacrum, and then your tailbone. The last thing to settle down as you release your arms. And again, notice your spine, notice your whole back resting here on the floor. And then notice your breath. If you like, you could bring one hand to your belly, one hand to your heart. One more nice way to remind yourself physically to reconnect to those natural rhythms of life that sustain you. It's a good time if you need to drink a sip of water or adjust your pose, maybe adjust any clothing you might want to add or take off. Get ready, we're going to settle into a final resting pose. If you're feeling good, you could also just stay and settle a little more, right where you are. So that could be with your knees bent, your feet on the ground, or open your feet a little bit and let the knees rest heavy, leaning on each other. A little tent there. Especially if your low back feels any discomfort, is a nice way to take it easy in the low back. Or if it feels good, you could extend your legs one at a time, taking a more classic version of Shavasana, the final resting pose. You could also settle on your side if that felt good, or really find any position where you can rest comfortably. So that for the next few minutes, you can just fully give yourself to this moment, to this body, and fully connect with this breath. You find that you still have something that needs to move, any micro adjustments, or any support you need. Please give yourself that. And at some point, we're just going to have to find the moment, find the pose, and turn in. Turning your attention inwards with each breath. With each exhale, letting go of anything you don't need. With your inhales, feeling your whole body as it rests here on the floor. And with your exhales, allowing the whole body to rest down into the ground a little more. Noticing again all of the support of the earth with your inhale. With your exhale, allowing unnecessary tension to just melt down and release. With every exhalation, allow your whole body, the body-mind, to soften and relax a little more. Noticing your toes and your feet. As you exhale, toes and feet relax. Toes and feet totally soft. Noticing your lower legs and your knees. Lower legs and knees relaxing. Lower legs and knees totally relaxed. Noticing your upper legs, your pelvis and hips. Upper legs, pelvis and hips, relaxing. Upper legs, pelvis and hips, totally soft. Noticing your spine and the entire back. Your spine, your back and torso, softening. The whole spine, the whole back and torso, completely relaxed. Notice your shoulders and arms, your wrists and legs. From your shoulders, through the arms and legs, softening. All of your shoulders, arms and hands, completely relaxed. Noticing your head, your neck, your face. Head, neck, and face. Soften your head, your neck, and your face. Completely relaxed. And then bring your attention to your breathing. For the next few moments, allow your full attention to rest in the rise and fall of your natural breath. If you like to stay a little longer, allow yourself to settle in deeper into your relaxation. It's wonderful. And when you're ready, start to deepen your breathing. And with this longer, fuller breath, you start to return movement or energy to the body. And when it feels right, you can start to move your physical body, starting with small movements, fingers and toes, hands and feet. Let these small movements just spontaneously get bigger in any way that feels natural, that feels nice. If you like, then reach your arms overhead and just stretch the whole body again, reaching from fingers to toes. And exhale, release. Bending your knees, just giving yourself one more big hug, giving yourself lots of love. And for a moment, with knees bent, roll to your right side. Just pausing to rest for a moment on your side, using your arm under your head for a little support. When you feel ready, use your hands and help yourself up into a comfortable seat. So any seat that you can sit in easily, perhaps with crossed legs or maybe something under your seat for a little support, so that you can lift your whole upper body long and relax. And also feel grounded, feel easy in your seat. And inhale, bring the arms overhead. Exhale, hands to the center of the heart. Thank you for sharing your practice with us here today. May it benefit you and those around you. Namaste.